Hi, Pisces. Welcome to your tarot reading. If you're new, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. Either way, thank you so very much for being here, and thank you for sharing your energy with me. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to pull a traditional Celtic cross spread. Whatever message comes out is what you need to hear from Spirit at this time. I've set that intention with my guides and with this deck. So if you are here because this is in your feed, then this message is for you. And if you are here because of the title, then this message is definitely for you. So let's get into it and see what the tarot has. I also have an oracle deck that I will pull from at the end for any additional messages. Be sure and like the video, leave a comment if you feel called to do so, and definitely subscribe if you like the messages. All of that really helps my channel to grow, but it also pushes the videos out so that other people can see them as well. So I really appreciate you guys doing that. Interesting. That's what Cancer got in their potential outcome as well. So, bottom of the deck, we have the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is about standing up for your beliefs and defending them, right? Like, really just kind of being assertive and holding boundaries. So, this could be about you really kind of having some challenges and obstacles that arise and just needing to be assertive and strategic. Don't act defensive, but definitely hold your boundaries on situations, right? So the situation is the Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles is about generational wealth. This is about, building over time, stability. It can be about an inheritance, but it's just like the culmination of prosperity over time. And it can also be about family, right? So this is my card about family and, who are those that support you and who are those that don't. And focus on spending time with the people that you love and creating like that network of prosperity, right? So the blockage is the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles is a need to balance, right? And prioritize. So twos are all about balancing in that duality. And with the Two of Pentacles, it's about balancing your resources, and you have this Ten of Pentacles. So, if this is some kind of inheritance, maybe this is a need to stay balanced because you haven't been balanced, right? Or stable. So, this can indicate kind of like maybe tension in your life and it's leaving you feeling imbalanced and destabilized. So this could have to do with your family is like making you feel destabilized here and unbalanced, and it's just challenges that are momentarily taking you out of your balance, but that balance can be easily restored if you're just get back on track, take those small steps to kind of get back on track. So I feel like this feeling imbalanced has to do with family because of conflict. We have the Five of Swords, and the Five of Swords is about arguments. It is about difficult conversations and like conflict within your family. And this whole winning at any cost, right? Like words that are exchanged and then this person has clearly won and these other people are walking away. That could have been the situation with you, or it could be like maybe you said some things that were very hurtful to others. Whatever the situation is, it may be different for each of you because it is a general reading. But this is, there's arguments and conflict in every relationship, right? But how you manage yourself in those situations and how you get triggered are very important, right? So I feel like there was definitely some kind of conflict happening within your family, and you're just unbalanced from it, right? It's got you destabilized for some reason. So the cause of this situation is the Three of Swords. This is about heartbreak, grief, loss. So there was definitely something that happened. This could have been like an actual loss of a family member. So, but it's like sadness and pain, right? Probably due to this conflict, or you may be experiencing that sadness and pain and needing to heal from that because of whatever the situation is, this conflict that's been occurring. This is like really needing to focus on healing from some kind of pain and conflict that's been going on. And this could be ongoing for a long time. I don't know why that's coming to me. It could be like over an extended period of time that this has been going on, that these arguments and fights have been going on, and it's just really left you imbalanced. The message from your higher self or your spirit guides is the Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords is about, again, decisions, balance. Twos are all about decisions and balance. And this is about needing to use your intuition to make a decision. Because she's like indecisive, right? Like not making a decision, and also very protective. Again, with the Seven of Wands and this Five of Swords, like being very defensive and assertive, in order to protect yourself. And that's completely understandable, but trying to do it from a more loving place, right? And having compassion, not only for others, but also for yourself in situations. But with the Two of Swords, like she's very closed off and she's refusing to see the truth. And it blocks your intuition when you do that, right? So, it kind of just leaves you feeling a little trapped, feeling a little stuck where you're at, and things can't move forward from there. So I feel like it's just like listening to your intuition and then needing to make this decision, needing to make a choice on how to move forward or how to deal with the situation, probably after some words were spoken, right? Like needing to decide, how do we move forward, needing to decide, do I keep these people in my life, um because you're feeling like very protective of yourself, right? Like she's protecting her heart. And then we have the Three of Swords here, which has all these swords in it, right? So you've had these swords put in your heart, and now you're just very blocked off and defensive. And again, that's perfectly natural human reaction. And you definitely want to have boundaries. And that may be what this is about, like setting healthy boundaries. So in the immediate future, we have the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is anxiety, it's worry, it is um stress, staying up late at night. It's that hamster wheel thinking is what I call it. It's like replaying situations, replaying conversations. If these were hurtful words, if this was an argument between you and one person or multiple people, like you're replaying that in your mind, and you're, well, what if I had said this? What if I had done that? And it takes a toll on your physical health. So you may be feeling, um, very anxious and very worried, and maybe spending too much time ruminating on stuff. So, journaling, walking, spending time with others, that can really help you work through these negative thoughts. I feel like that's going to be very important for you. But there's definitely some worry here in the near future. And your thoughts and feelings, we have the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands is Sagittarius energy. Maybe you have Sagittarius in your chart, or maybe you're dealing with Sagittarius. But this is like, swift action, and being very passionate, and kind of just, it's taking a lead, right? Taking action, and then taking the steps to kind of move things forward towards a goal, and then paying attention to your intuitive urges, and acting upon them without hesitation, right? So maybe this is about you taking action on a way to move forward, or taking action on some sort of, family dynamic here, whatever that is for you. It's also about movement, right? So, um, I mean, the negative aspect of this could be like self-doubt, right? Like maybe you're doubting yourself, or you're doubting a situation. Um, and like, it's about like misunderstandings, like delays and misunderstandings. So you could be kind of doubting yourself, or just needing to like find that spark again here in the situations. This may have you feeling very down, so this is just like a need to kind of don't doubt yourself, and then really kind of find that creative spark again. So the influence or in your environment, we have justice. So justice is karma, right? Like this is that divine karma that comes in and takes care of everything, right? So it's restoring balance through truth and honesty, and people are being held accountable. So there is karma at play here, like divine justice. Things are balancing out, whether they feel like they are or not. I feel like spirit may be doing that behind the scenes here, but um, things are, what's fair is fair, right? So I feel like, just have faith that whatever imbalance is occurring here, whatever has you feeling imbalanced and a little out of sorts here, is uh, really going to be restored, right? So just have faith that it's working out and things are going to start moving forward here. And your hopes and fears, we have the strength card. So again, this is about like that inner strength. It's about confidence. So you're probably very hopeful that you have the strength to overcome this, that you have the confidence. And I feel like you do. I feel like really it's just about tapping into, that, again, intuition, and really kind of, she has this infinity symbol over her head, which lets me know that she's like connected with spirit, right? Like very intuitive. And then, maybe talking to your guides and having them show you the path forward, right? Like with this decision, with this difficult decision, what is the best way to move forward for your best and highest good, right? But this is really you just overcoming these obstacles. And I feel like you will. You're very hopeful that you can overcome them, and I really feel like you will. The potential outcome is the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords is, again, that fast moving energy, like fast forward progress here. And it is kind of like very assertive, and he seeks the truth and speaks his truth. So you could be speaking some truth here about whatever went down in this situation. Maybe you're letting this person know that it wasn't okay what they did, setting that boundary. But it's just a situation that it needs to be dealt with head on. And confrontation isn't always a bad thing, right? That sometimes conversations are very difficult to have, but it is good to be assertive and set boundaries and have these conversations with people. And sometimes that's unavoidable. And just keep focusing on the outcome and what is best for your highest good, and then just assert yourself, right? And I feel like this is you kind of really just, again, blasting through obstacles, and then taking that assertive attitude and setting those boundaries, maybe speaking some sort of truth here and letting people know, hey, this situation wasn't okay, or the things that were said in this argument were not okay. But I definitely feel like things are going to progress pretty quickly, like move forward very quickly here, after you speak your truth, right? And just hold your boundaries. That's very important to do. It's difficult, but it's important to do. What do they not see coming, Spirit? What does Pisces not see coming? So we have the King of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Four of Pentacles. So this is, King of Cups is Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. This is like you really taking that leadership, right? Stepping into your King of Cups energy, whether you're male or female, right? It doesn't matter. We all have masculine, feminine energy. So this is like you really embracing that leadership from a place of compassion, right? Like he's very intuitive, he's very compassionate, and he takes action from a place of love and compassion, right? So again, that charging forward and being assertive and holding boundaries is from a loving place of compassion, not only for the other people, right? Because you don't want to have these arguments, you don't want these nasty words said again, right? But also being compassionate for yourself, because setting a boundary is self-love. That is very good for you. And it's also letting other people know how they can treat you, right? So really stepping into this King of Cups energy, and staying emotionally balanced, and just letting people know that you're setting boundaries, and express your compassion for the situation, but also for yourself, right? And then you have the Knight of Cups, which is, again, that loving place. But this is going to be like a really maybe an emotional offer that you are giving to someone else, and letting them know, that I still care about you. We are family, but I need to set this boundary, right? So that would be like a really good example of like some kind of like loving offer. Um, and then like also, consider your motivation behind the actions that you're taking here. And this is like a very heart centered um, apology, or you may feel like they owe you an apology, right? So this could be like a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio apologizing to you, or you could be taking like this leadership and this, taking the action to apologize, because being the bigger person, right? And just saying, look, I'm sorry that these words were said, but I also want to set this boundary, right? And then you have the Four of Pentacles, which is about um it can be about stability, so like remaining stable throughout, but it's also about control, which can be seen as a negative. But with this one, I feel like it's about you maintaining your control, right? And staying controlled emotionally while you are having, like, it's a very emotional conversation, right? It's emotional time when you're dealing with family and you're trying to assert a boundary. It can be very emotional, but again, just do it from a place of love and compassion. And I feel like things will, definitely work out. But this is about you. I feel like this is really all about you setting a boundary and then being very assertive about that boundary, lovingly, which is not always easy to do. It's a very difficult thing to do sometimes. So, what advice do you have for Pisces Spirit? Okay. So we have the Devil, the Four of Cups, and the Moon here. So the Devil is about those toxic behaviors, right? This Nine of Swords, the replaying situations, staying stuck where you don't belong, like stuck in the past and needing to like maybe bring things to light, or again, having these difficult conversations. So with the Devil, it is about toxic patterns, toxic coping mechanisms. Don't fall back into those. And then with the Four of Cups, it's about letting go of the past in order to move forward, right? And with the Moon, it is about things that have been hidden and bringing things to light, right? Like maybe setting this boundary because things have happened in the past, and now you're kind of bringing light, you're shedding some light on that, and being like, look, this is how I feel about the situation. I felt this way for a long time. Maybe your family has always been very critical, or again, there's always been this constant conflict within your family, and you need to assert your boundaries, and that's okay to do. Just again, don't hold on to grudges from the past. um, but you might want to have those conversations too, because you don't want to let that fester over time, right? Like if something's really bothering you, and it's been bothering you for years, a lot of times it's good to talk about it in a loving way and try to bring up that conversation. They may not even listen to you, right? But at least you tried to have that conversation. Just don't fall back into those negative patterns that you have in the past, like underlying fears about holding your boundaries, right? Um, Definitely, like, don't fall back into like these past patterns, this negative thinking, this self-sabotaging behavior that you've always done in the past. Don't do that, and trust your intuition as well, right? So I really love this. I mean, I don't love the situation, obviously. That's not fun to go through, but I definitely feel like this is about you just asserting yourself and standing on business is like what I keep wanting to say, and holding your boundaries. And that's okay to do. It's okay to be assertive and hold a boundary. You're allowed to do that, as difficult as it is, especially with family, right? Because you love them, but you're allowed to have boundaries. Every human being is allowed to have a boundary. So let's see. What else do you have for Pisces Spirit? So we have follow your passion. If there's something that excites you and motivates you, it's a message from your Akashic record that it can lead to your abundance. Don't silence it. Maybe that's what the argument was about, right? Connect to intuition. Repeating patterns are keeping you from making a new choice in this situation. Break free from old ways of thinking and ask for new insight. That is absolutely what this devil energy is about. Like, these people need to free themselves from from these chains, and not fall back into toxic patterns from the past. And maybe this is about you asserting yourself from a loving and compassionate way, because in the past we haven't done that, right? And I mean, I know I've had arguments with people and I've said things I shouldn't have. I think we all have been there at some point, but don't repeat that. Discovery. New ideas, people, or opportunities may be coming your way. While there's still work to do to reach your goal, you may discover new strengths and passions along the way. I love that. Be present. You are ungrounded and spending too much time in your head. Something has caused you to retreat to your mind. It's time to bring consciousness to it so you can resolve it and start living more fully again. Definitely imbalanced, right? That Two of Pentacles, and then stuck in your head. So don't get stuck in that hamster wheel, okay? We have acceptance. You may be disappointed with a recent outcome. Remember, if one door closes, you are being redirected to one that will soon open to your true soul path. Love that. So I definitely feel like there is, this conflict going on with your family, but I feel like you're going to assert yourself, and it's really going to kind of help you maybe, feel more yourself, like coming back to that King of Cups energy, right? That Pisces energy, and really kind of really standing up for yourself and setting a boundary here. So I hope that message helped, and I will see you next time. Bye.